Did you know there are more tigers kept in people's backyards than in the wild? Did you know that all over the United States, people keep exotic and endangered animals as pets, much like dogs, cats, and birds? For many people, having a chimp or a lion or a tiger seems fascinating and thrilling, but they don't take into account that what they're doing is ethically wrong and morally unjust, and essentially they are endangering themselves as well as the animal. It is quite appalling to know that there are over 7,000 tigers kept as pets in the United States, which is more than there are in the wild. In their natural habitat, tigers number no more than 4,000. We have almost double that kept in private zoos, roadside shows, and circuses. Not only tigers, but lions, bears, leopards, apes, and many more animals are kept for the entertainment, money, and satisfaction of ignorant people. And frankly, we have an exotic pet problem here in the United States. According to an article written and published in 2016 by Business Insider, in a small sanctuary 50 miles south of Buffalo, tigers paced back and forth around the rotting carcass of a dead cat. Flies swarmed around piles of excrement. One tiger, in a cage next to two female lions, was missing most of her tail and one ear. This is just a glimpse at the horrific conditions in just one sanctuary. But there are thousands of these animals being kept all over the nation, and this has to stop. Today, I'm going to be talking about why we shouldn't keep exotic animals as pets, as well as the problems, causes, and solutions that pertain to that topic. I think the problem is that these animals are, well, exotic. They don't deserve to be put in a situation where they rely on humans for food and a place to live. These animals deserve to be in the wild, where they belong as nature intended. Most, if not all, of these exotic animals are kept in horrific conditions and are also kept amongst other species. For example, lions and tigers are caged together, bears and lions are kept together, wolves and bears are kept together, and so on and so forth. This is a ticking time bomb, as these animals typically never come across each other in the wild, let alone live with each other in cramped, poor conditions. These animals also feed together, which can result in aggression and fights, and unfortunately, injuries or death. Now, these are just a few issues out of many, but these two are just enough to want to stop the owning and breeding of wild, exotic animals across the nation. We need to spread more awareness and convince not only the general public, but just as importantly, the politicians who make and govern our federal and state laws. I think the causes as why we have so many exotic animals as pets in this country, in particular, is money. As seen in the popular Netflix documentary, Tiger King, these people who own these animals in open zoos make a fortune off the expense of these beautiful animals. It's cruel, but it's the cold hard truth. Money can motivate and manipulate anyone into doing terrible things. Another big cause is there's not enough laws passed that prohibits the owning of exotic animals. Specifically, states in the South, it is perfectly legal to own animals such as chimps, tigers, lions, and you name it. For example, according to governing.com, the Humane Society of the United States has provided governing with a summary of exotic animal laws from the 50 states. According to this document, 7 states, including Alabama, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Wisconsin have no laws regarding exotic animal ownership. Now, with these two causes, it seems like we can come up with a solution that not only protects animal rights, but bans the ability to keep, breed, and own exotic animals in the few states that frankly do not care about the well-being of these animals. Like I mentioned briefly before, I think some solutions to help fix this problem is ultimately awareness to the public eye, and most importantly, to the lawmakers, as we can influence as the general public to pass more laws to prohibit owning these beautiful exotic animals. PETA and other organizations have been doing similar things, but I want to more so focus on banning private zoos and the ownership of these animals. They belong in the wild and not some random guy's backyard in the middle of Oklahoma. Consequently, I just want to add that it may seem cool and fun to go pet baby tigers or lions, or visit a circus to see exotic animals perform, or a roadside zoo to help small businesses. but essentially you are contributing to the problem, which is owning these animals as pets. We have to make a stand as we are the voices for these animals, and without us to help them, they live a life of torment, small cramped enclosures, fighting and discomfort. These animals belong in the wild, where their territory knows no bounds, and where they can live and exist freely as they were intended. Today we talked about why we shouldn't keep exotic animals as pets, the problems associated with keeping them as pets, the causes as to why we have so many exotic animals as pets, and a few solutions to eventually ban the ownership of exotic animals as pets. Lastly, I want to remind you and further instill the fact that there exist more tigers in the U.S. in private zoos, homes, sanctuaries than there are in the entire world. If that alone doesn't bother you or instill a motivation to change, then the conditions these poor animals live in surely will. I want to close with something the United States of Agriculture said on the subject. Large, wild, and exotic cats such as lions, tigers, cougars, and leopards are dangerous animals. Because of these animals' potential to kill or severely injure both people and other animals, an untrained person should not keep them as pets. Doing so poses serious risks to family, friends, neighbors, and the general public. Even an animal that can be friendly and loving and raised since birth can be very dangerous. Thank you.